At the end of the day, when it comes to making money as a florist, the answer is never going to be add more stuff to your to-do list. It's always going to be, how can I approach this work with a smarter strategy so that I can get the result that I want? If you're a floral designer that has been busting your butt for months, maybe even years, possibly even decades, and you're thinking to yourself, I just need to keep working harder, post more often, grow my following, add more services into the mix in order to hit that $500,000 revenue mark, I need you to stop what you're doing, because that thought process is actually slowing down your success. And today I'm going to show you 5 ways that you can use the 80-20 principle to work smarter and not harder so that you can speed up your success and make more money doing the work that you love. And you've built something beautiful. Maybe you've bought an existing business, or you've built your florist shop from the ground up. You're motivated, you're ambitious, and you know in your bones you have what it takes to earn a good living, to hit that $500,000 revenue mark, and to run that profitable, thriving business that you've been dreaming of. But you find yourself spinning your wheels. You're stuck in the more is better trap. More Instagram posts, more products, more services, more hours, more stress, just more. And I'll be the first to remind you that when the goal is success, profitability, making money, the answer is never add more shit into the mix. It is never work harder. It's always work smarter, because the game is not about adding more. You've already got enough on your plate. Instead, I want you to focus on what actually moves the needle in your business. And that's where the 80-20 principle comes in. And if you've never heard of the 80-20 principle, in its simplest form, it essentially is that 80% of the outcomes, 80% of your money, 80% of your profitability, and 80% of your success is going to come from 20% of your efforts. So instead of trying to spread yourself even thinner, we're going to focus in on your 20%, and we're going to double down to make it work even better. So strategy number 1, let's talk about your website. And this is for you if you find yourself consistently posting to Instagram, like you are a gold star A+ student when it comes to being consistent on social media, but it's not yet turning into the inquiries and the website orders that you're after. Here's the game that I want you to play. I want you to set your marketing plan up so that 80% of your revenue is coming through your website. Yes, 80% of all of your business's revenue can come through your website. Even if your brick and mortar used to be the backbone of your business, you're watching this video because you want to make more money. So I want you to set the goalpost of having 80% of your business's revenue coming through your website. Now, if you've looked at your numbers and you've divided your customers and your orders by channel, and you're like, Kathleen, my existing business looks nothing like that goalpost. Well, you're in exactly the right place, because that's the perfect sign that your marketing plan needs a recalibration. And I also want you to make the bold decision that you are not going to post to Instagram. You're not going to post to social media. You're not going to do anything else when it comes to driving more traffic to your website until you have a website that converts. So that means you have set up a website where it's really easy for your customers to navigate through the know, like, trust customer journey in a very hands-off, self-managed way, so that somebody could find you who's on the other side of the country, other side of the state, other side of the world. They know where you're based. They understand how the whole thing works. They've submitted their inquiry, or they've actually placed an order. These days, when the goal is profitability and success as a florist, your website is the heartbeat of your business, and it is 100 times more important than your brick and mortar shop. So that's why I'm going to say 80% of your revenue gets to come through your website. So if that's not happening for you in your business right now, here's your homework. I want you to audit your website, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Have you set up the content and the pages on your website to align with that know, like, trust customer journey? Is your pricing super clear? Is ordering super simple to do, and particularly on a phone? Have you got photos that just ooze quality and a premium brand? Are you using customer testimonials to build trust and demonstrate your expertise and authority, and to position your business as the go-to florist in your area? Are you building a personal connection? If there isn't a photo of you, if you don't have a very clear about me page, if you're not showing up on your websites, you know what your work is. And the real trick here is to prioritize this work over any more marketing activities, because there is no point in posting to Instagram to try and generate more orders if your website isn't converting at a healthy percentage. So prioritize that on your to-do list, prioritize that over any window display, and prioritize that over any shop operations, because that is going to be the secret to your success when it comes to making money and hitting that big, fat, juicy revenue goal. Application number 2 of the 80-20 principle is your Instagram messaging. And one of the most common things that I talk to my clients about is how exhausted florists are about trying to keep up with trends, doing those cute little dancing reels. And particularly if you're a hyper introvert and you're like, that sounds like my version of a nightmare, this is your permission slip to break all the rules and not worry about trending audios. You don't even need to know what a hook is, and who gives a rat's ass about what the popular florists are doing, because you're here to work smarter and not harder, which means you don't actually have to keep up with trends, because more followers does not equal more customers, and it definitely doesn't equal profitability. So here's how to apply the 80-20 principle to your Instagram messaging. 80% of your marketing and your sales that are going to be driven by Instagram are going to come because you have the right messaging, not because your content is the cutest, not because you used a viral audio or you did a little dancing cute trending reel, but simply because your messaging is speaking to your ideal client. It's not speaking to other florists. It's not speaking to other flower growers. It's speaking to your ideal customer. The person who wants to be able to order at 2 o'clock in the morning, the person who's looking for a flower delivery on Friday for $350 to send to their husband, to their wife, to their spouse, to their sister. That's who you're creating your content for. And that all comes back to making sure that your messaging is dialed in. So things to focus on are clarity, making sure that you're speaking and you're using the words that your customers use when they're speaking to you. Consistency, because I'm going to say, when we talk about consistency, I'm like, you could be posting once a week and that's enough. Twice a week, if you're into the overachieving thing. I also want you to really interrogate the quality of content that you're posting. If you want $350 orders, then I want you to be posting pictures of $300, $400, $500, $600 orders. It matters, and it has a dramatic impact on the kinds of customers that come your way. The other thing to think about when it comes to your Instagram messaging is when a new potential customer lands on your profile, are you answering the obvious questions? And by that, I mean, where are you based, i.e. what city are you in? What specific direction or action do you want your customer to take, i.e. jump on our website to order flowers 24/7? And are you showing that there are real life humans in your business? Because with the rise of AI, with the rise of the machine taking over the world, it means that you as the creator, you as the maker, you as the designer have to show up in your content. No longer is it optional. It is absolutely mandatory when your goal is success, profitability, and getting your customers to go through that know, like, trust process in a totally hands-off way. So have a very hard, critical look at your Instagram content and your Instagram profile and ask yourself, is my messaging dialed in? Am I making it crystal clear where I'm based and the steps that I want my customers to take? Am I building a personal connection? Am I making it super obvious to them that I want them to jump on my website to order flowers, to submit their inquiry, to learn more about weddings, to book in for that workshop? Tell your customers what actions you want them to take, because that's the action that they're going to take. And strategy number 3, when it comes to how we can use the 80-20 principle to make more money in our businesses. This one's one of my favorites. Let's talk about operational efficiency. That's like music to my ears. Those two words put together, I'm like, oh, it's so good. If you find yourself waking up every single day and it feels like your to-do list is like reinventing the wheel, this one is for you. I want you to set up your marketing plan and your to-do list so that 80% of your activities feel brainless, absolutely take no creative energy from you. Quite literally, you should be able to look at your to-do list. It should feel easy, very repeatable, and kind of like you don't have to use an ounce of creativity to get this work done. Because that way you can conserve your energy, you can conserve your creative juices to pour into the creative work, i.e. ordering from the wholesalers, planning out that next big event that you're doing, actually doing the orders and trying to maximize your stem count. Like, that's where you get to pour your creative energy into. Your marketing should feel very simple, very rinse and repeat, very brainless, very easy for you to implement because you're just doing the same things day in and day out, because that's how you get to market your business as a florist. And particularly when you've got your website dialed in, you're like, oh my gosh, the game gets to be so simple and easy. So one way that I love to set up my to-do list is that I know specific tasks need to be done on specific days of the week. So you might run a shop where you know, okay, my wholesale orders need to be in every Monday and Thursday, or Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever your routine and regular schedule is. You can set up your task list so that they align to the days of the week. A couple other tools that you can create for yourself that make this work so much easier, that truly help you become the operational efficiency queen. Writing out standard operating procedures for yourself. And this doesn't need to be anything fancy. This could be something as simple as a checklist, because I think 80% of our problems can also be solved by a checklist. But having a very clear list for yourself so that you don't ever have to go back and remember, oh yeah, this is where we order our helium balloons from, or oh yeah, this is where we get our vases from, or oh yeah, this is how many sheets of non-woven we ordered last time. The other strategy you can implement is doing like bulk prep work. So if you're getting ready for a wedding, prep all of your containers at the same time. If you're doing a pop-up in a couple of weeks, get all of your wrapping, all of your ribbon, all of your cards prepped all at the same time. The third system that I love implementing is very simple rinse and repeat inventory management systems. This is probably one of the most common questions I get, where it's like, Kathleen, what software do you use to manage inventory? I don't. It's called a checklist. It's very simple. And it also makes it very trainable for you to share with your team. Because as much as I'll say technology can be really helpful, it also can be a barrier to you helping you grow your business. So have a look at how your business is being run right now from an operational perspective, from an inside your business perspective, and start making a list of the systems that you could put in place to become the queen of efficiency. Because I want you to set that goal up of 80% of your to-do list should feel very, very simple, very rinse and repeat, very easy for you to implement so that your creativity is going into more valuable work in your business. Strategy number 4, let's talk about how to use the 80-20 principle to apply to your wholesale orders. And this one is particularly helpful if it feels like you're reinventing the wheel every single time that you're ordering from the wholesalers. And if you order from the wholesalers more than once a week, listen up, because this one is so helpful. I want you to set yourself a goal that 80% of your wholesale order is the same every single time out. Now, I know you're going to be like, but that sounds really boring, Kathleen. It's not. Because once you decide, okay, these are my go-to ingredients, I know that I'm going to order these 20, 25 ingredients every single time I order from the wholesalers. The way that you get to add a little fun and pizzazz into this wholesale ordering game is that you get to switch up the colors. But simply by deciding that you're going to stick to the hardcore favorites that you have, the ones that you know how to make really good designs, the ones that you know are really popular with your customers, the ones that you know are super easy for you to get from your wholesalers, if you make your wholesale order focused on those 80% most of the time, then you also give yourself permission to layer on top and sprinkle in a little bit of magic fairy dust with the extra 20%. So that when peonies are in season, when hellebores are in season, when you can get your hands on some cosmos or some dahlias, you can just sprinkle it in as an added little extra and really help mix things up. The secret sauce here is that your creativity thrives on constraints. You've probably had one of those experiences where you've been at the end of a workday and you're like, oh my God, I don't have much, and somebody walks in and they want a $100 bouquet. And you make something beautiful and you're like, wait a minute, this might be my new favorite combination. And you never would have thought of it before because now you have the power of constraint. So you can actually implement that constraint in your wholesale order. This will also have a dramatic impact on your bottom line because you'll notice immediately you're not throwing out as many stems as you were the week before the second that you implement this 80-20 principle with your wholesale orders. So make a list of the favorites that you have and start there with your 80-20 application with your wholesale order. Remember, you can switch it up with colors and subtle nuances and changes, and you're going to have so much fun. Instead of being completely overwhelmed and broke because you're overbuying at the wholesalers, you've put a structure in place that makes it so easy. And then you're going to enjoy the creative and the design process so much more. Also, because that little voice in the back of your head is going to be like, oh my God, and I also know that I'm making way more money. And then strategy number 5, and this one applies to your pricing strategy. And particularly if you're sitting there thinking, okay, Kathleen, I know that you've told me I need to increase my prices. I know that I should be pushing more orders through my website, but it feels like everybody's just ordering the $50 or $60 bunch. This one's for you. Because I want you to go in and I want you to look at your online catalog and I want you to interrogate it to make sure that 80% of the products that you have in your online catalog start at least $150. Not, I have one product that's $150 and another one that's $155, but I want you to make a list of the products that you have on your website, and I want you to make sure that 80% of your designs start at least $150 so that you can then let the products that are listed at $150 and under become the exception. And if you're freaking out at this idea, take a breath, because remember, the people that want to spend a little bit less, they will call you and they will start the conversation off with, I'm just on your website, because that's what they always do. And this is one of those amazing ways where you get to tap into buyer psychology, because I know, trust me, I know how terrifying it feels when you finally decide to take this wise words of advice of this amazing human on the internet to be like, hey, I'm going to go in and update my online catalog, and I'm only going to have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 products out of my whole online catalog that are under $150. I know that that feels terrifying, but the thing to remember is that your ideal clients want to spend money. They value the full service that you offer as a florist, which means they're able to order flowers where your shop isn't open. They don't have to talk to you on the phone. You've already made some very strategic and intentional decisions for them, and you're making it really easy for them to spend $150, $200, $300 on flowers to gift to their loved ones. The immediate signal that you're sending to your customers by following this strategy is the perfect indication to your clients that they have finally found a good florist, because they're going to be on other florists' websites and they're going to see the $29.99 or designer's choice $50, and they're immediately going to be repelled because the prices are too low. So let the other florists in your area try to compete for the low-hanging fruit and the cheap customers. That's not your jam. That's not what you're going to be doing in your business, because you're here to thrive. You're here to be successful. You're here to make money doing the work that you love. So be brave, be ballsy. Go in and audit your online catalog and be like, okay, Kathleen said I need to make sure that 80% of my products are $150 or more. So that's what you're going to do. Let it be terrifying. And then send me a DM when somebody orders your $349 or $352 product, because you're welcome. So your homework with applying the 80-20 principle to your pricing strategy is to go into your online catalog, make a list of every single product that you've got, and make sure that 80% of your products starts at $150 or more. At the end of the day, when it comes to making money as a florist, the answer is never going to be add more stuff to your to-do list. It's always going to be, how can I approach this work with a smarter strategy so that I can get the result that I want? And applying the 80-20 principle to your business will change everything. And it's such a simple shortcut. So use your creativity, take all of your notes, apply them into your business, because your future self is going to be so grateful that you made the changes. And if strategy number 5 really got your attention, and you're thinking, okay, Kathleen, can you please tell me more about the right way to set up my online catalog so that I can attract those good customers to my business? I've got you covered. Check out this video where I walk you through my online catalog strategy. I show you exactly how to structure your pricing so that you can attract premium clients and wake up to those juicy, high quality, high value orders every single week in your business. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Have the most amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.